Okay, hello Gambians. This is going to be a very quick one. We are all aware now of our situation, especially in regards to the National Assembly. For 22 years under Jammeh's rule, one of the biggest problems that we have had in terms of obstacles to development and human rights have been the lack of a very vibrant National Assembly, one that would stand up for the people and do what is right. When Jammeh was booted out, we finally said, you know what, great, now we will now elect a National Assembly that will be responsive to the needs and aspirations of the Gambian people. Just less than a week ago, we were all here very mad that our government is now trying to put through a bill, a budget, that most of us believe was irresponsible and really extremely bad in many ways. And so I was disappointed, like most others, when we realized that the National Assembly, through their maneuvers, had allowed things like presidential donation and maintain the office of the First Lady, things that we believe have no business being financed by the taxpayers. Adding insult to injury, yesterday in the National Assembly, the Minister of Finance, Mr. Mamure Njai, came up and presented a bill which is called the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2018, asking poor Gambians to give them or approve 1.1 billion, close to 1.2 billion. And this we find to be unacceptable, ridiculous, and absolutely unjustifiable, especially given that we have, less than 19 days before the end of the year. And this government has the audacity to come to us and tell us that they need the National Assembly to approve a supplementary budget of 1.1 or 1.2 billion Dalasis. For what? And some of the justifications from this government is like the President's office needs an additional 60 million. Why? Because of some travels. The centralized services, which is like miscellaneous expenditure. Last year, the 2018 budget, they were allocated with about 1.4 billion Dalasis. But they are asking us for an additional, not last year, this year anyway, they are now asking us for an additional 402 million. For what? But the sad thing here is, if the Gambians have been seeing a change in their lives economically and otherwise, one would have understood. But the poverty of our people have remained. The horrible health condition have remained. People are dying at an alarming rate at our hospitals, meaning that there is nothing being done to help our people. Our schools are failing us. So where is this money that was allocated to them? Where was it spent? How was it spent? And to whose benefit? So it is absolutely important that we as a people to stand up and say, no, we will not stand for this. And how do we do that? This is why I am urging all Gambians, if you are on the ground, my only regret is I'll be arriving in the country after tomorrow, a week or so after that. But I'm urging all Gambians to go tomorrow to the National Assembly. That is your house. And we also not only want to see you go there, but talk to the National Assembly members to demand for a roll call vote, because we have to know who votes for and against this ridiculous bill tomorrow. It is in fact insulting to hear that the Financial Committee is reviewing the bill and they were not done. That's why it is postponed till tomorrow. Call your National Assembly members, urge them to reject it, and if they don't reject it, we will campaign against them, because then they will be part of the irresponsible group of people who are destroying our country. But we need a roll call vote, not a total vote. The ayes have it. No, we want people, all National Assembly members to be called by name, and they should vote yes or no, so that the whole world would know whether they support this irresponsible behavior or not. Our people are tired, completely tired of this underdevelopment, this mismanagement of our funds. For 52, 53 years, our National Assembly has been, or the Parliament has been allocating resources to ministries and other government sectors. But who have they been benefiting? Our people remain poor. Our people are sicker today than they were yesterday. And there is absolutely nothing. You go to our hospitals, the horrible conditions of our hospitals remain. All of us have had family members that we have lost in that country because of how they've been treated at those hospitals. I just lost a nephew a few days ago who was born with a birth defect. Went to the hospital. They performed a surgery that they discovered had no medical benefits to this child. We had to evacuate the kid and the mom to Senegal. And the kid died because of this operation that he had at the RVTH. Now they call it the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital. And instead of the doctors in Dakar curing him for what ailed him, they were curing him for the irresponsible and dangerous surgery that was performed on him and left to be infected. So where is this money that we are allocating these ministries? Who are they benefiting? Are they benefiting you? Have you seen a change in your life? So we have to send a message to the National Assembly that Barrow, as a president, can come up with any idea that he has, but we expect the National Assembly to put Barrow on his brake, on the brakes on Barrow and say, hold on, this is unacceptable, we cannot do it. They have the power. They are the only body in that country that has the power to do that. Because the government cannot operate if it is not financed, and that finance cannot happen if it is not approved by the National Assembly. But the National Assembly too will not just get a free ride from us. We are watching you. And we demand a roll call vote so that every member would be called by name and they will vote either yes to the continued suffering of the people or no, so that Gambia for once would not allow any of this nonsense going on where every few months they would come with these stupid budgets that they come with, supplementary budget for what? The Gambians have not seen anything that is supplementary in their livelihoods that is good. Look at the numbers. Ministry of Health is asking for 57 million. Have you guys felt any improvement in your treatments at those hospitals? Basic education, Ministry of Basic Education is asking for another 173 million. When our kids are failing in our schools. Climate change, environment and climate change, 176 million. Ministry of Defense, 54 million for what? Just Barrow's office, because he is the Minister of Defense, he is also the President. So his office, between the two offices, the Ministry of Defense and his office, he is asking for 114 million Dalasis. When our people continue to suffer. You're talking about interior, they are asking for 92 million. Sorry, 9 million. These are the same people, the police, who do not have cars to use to go and make arrest, whose stations are in dilapidated conditions. So where was the money spent? For whom and for what? We have to put a stop to this. Enough is enough of this nonsense. And the only people that can change it are the Gambian people. And this is why I'm calling on everybody. If you believe in the future of that country, be at the National Assembly tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning. You don't have to do anything. Your presence will be enough to send a chilling message to those members that guess what? The Gambia of yesteryears is over. This is a new Gambia where every Gambian is aware of what is going on and would hold those responsible to account. Because Barrow cannot mismanage our resources. Because this, what had happened here is, this was a budget of almost 19 billion. Now they're coming back and asking for more. How was that money spent? Was it mismanaged? Because if it was not spent right, which I believe was not spent, and the National Assembly endorses this ridiculous $1.128 billion, then the National Assembly is pretty much giving a tacit endorsement of the mismanagement, continued mismanagement of our resources. Our people have suffered for too long. 53 years of retrogression, 53 years of degradation, 53 years of suffering, 53 years of death that could have been avoided, 53 years of backward education, 53 years of dilapidated roads, everything that our people have suffered through. This is the time for us to turn the tides. This is the time for us to stand up and say, enough is enough. We are not going to stand for it. Electing somebody in office is one thing. Holding them accountable is the more important thing. So this is the time for every citizen of that country to stand up for what is just and what is right. Because the future of your children, my kids, our grandkids, depends on how our budget today, tomorrow, and day after are being managed. And what we've seen so far is a government that does not care about anything that is prudent, especially in financial management. We saw the minister yesterday at the National Assembly telling our members of the National Assembly that the vehicle policy that was passed by that National Assembly, making it a law, was not being implemented. Why? Who knows? And we want to just sit here and say, you know what, hey, that's fine, let's go by it. Let's remember, when Jammeh was there, every time Jammeh came up with stupid things like this supplementary bill, we would be up in arms, rejecting it. So what was wrong yesterday cannot be right today. The future of our country is too important for us to allow anyone to destroy. We have gone through enough destruction over the past 22 years. No more. No more. We have to put an end to it, and we have the powers to put an end to it. And I like what Karamba is suggesting. If you know a National Assembly member, call them. Talk to them. Ask them respectfully to reject this bill. If they tell you they want to vote for it, ask them to justify it to you, because they have to be able to justify it. And I can tell you, there is nobody who can justify voting for this supplementary appropriation bill. Last year, Amadou Sane came back for 300 million. And his justification was there were some commissions that were established after the budget was passed, and they needed the resources to be able to take care of those. But today, what was 3 million had jumped now 4 times to 1.1 billion. Isn't it ironic that the people that are bringing it today were the same people who were bringing it under Jammeh? Isn't it ironic? That's why I was so happy when Usman Silla stood up as soon as they brought this up and said, you know what, Madam Speaker, this National Assembly must reject this bill in its entirety. And from what I understand, I've been reaching out to some members, and they are also adamant that it would be rejected. And I just want to just give props to people like Sana Jawara, who I believe have been very consistent in his crusade against such excesses. So I call on all Gambians, if you live in the Gambia, if you're visiting in the Gambia, go to the National Assembly tomorrow, 8:30 in the morning. Do it for your children. Do it for the future of our country. Let those National Assembly members look you in your eye and tell them you are there, expecting that they will do the right thing. Because the Gambia cannot afford to continue on this trajectory where our resources are wasted and totally mismanaged while our people continue to suffer. Our farmers are crying for help. Our students are crying for help. Our sick people are crying for help. Everywhere you go, people are crying for help. And what we expect from our government is to help them solve their problems and not mismanage the resources that are meant to solve those problems. Gambia is too small a country to be mismanaged for this long. A lot could have been done to solve our problems, but we tend to always turn our back and act like it doesn't matter. Yes, it does. Every little thing matters. Even if they were to give centralized services. And centralized services, nobody knows where that money goes. It's 402 million, that's where they're asking you. So in total, they would have been giving in this budget circle over 1.8 billion Dalasis if they approve this. How is it spent? Nobody knows. Where? Nobody knows. It's centralized service, it's miscellaneous expenditure. And we think that is right, that is normal, that is okay. When our people continue to suffer, you go to a hospital, you've read Foraya's report about hospitals in Basse, where people will share a mattress at a hospital. A mattress that is not even fit for a dog to use. Our people are using that. You go to RVTH, our women, after they give birth, the bathrooms that they are supposed to use, the horrible conditions that they are in. We've seen all this. And while they are roaming around, passing all this money, a bed, hospital bed, will cost you anywhere between $98 to $125. One. Can you imagine if our resources were injected into the productive sectors of our economy, where it was needed to help the people, where we would have been? And yes, we say no to a rubber stamp parliament, and we definitely also say no to wastage. That time is over, and our time is now. So once again, I just wanted to come quickly. I got carried away. I have to stop now. We're calling on everybody tomorrow to go to your National Assembly. Occupy the place. The gallery is there for you. Let's fill up that gallery. If it is full, let's stand outside. But let them feel the presence of the people. That way, this would be the last time that they would ever even think about endorsing any such thing. The executive must be taught a lesson that the people will not sit by and allow you to waste. But also the National Assembly must also be taught a lesson that the people are watching and will not allow any such thing. Because if the National Assembly start acting as it is supposed to act, then definitely we would have a new beginning in our country. Because then we would have had an institution that would be there to do its job of serving as a check on the executive. Because if you do not have that, then the executive will just have a free hand, and they can do whatever they feel they're going to do, or they can do, because there will not be a counterbody that will be there to serve as check. But with that, guys, thank you so very much. Let's go tomorrow to the National Assembly. You know where it is. It's a beautiful building around Gambia High School. I've been there. Very beautiful. Go there. 8:30. Go there. 8:30. I'm not asking you to do anything. All I'm asking you is go to the National Assembly. Let them know that you are there. And tell them why you are there. That way, we'll have a new beginning. With that, guys, thank you so very much.